Cool. So, one of the latest from Laughing at Liberals. You have become my domestic enemy. Mom to corrupt school board. So, do you have another example of a based mama? We'll check this out. Navy veteran Patty Bellamy lashes out at the Washington School Board over their mask mandates and racist CRT policies. Notice how the school board members are barely paying attention to her, with some dabbling on their phones and computers while others jot down notes about who knows what. Um, yeah, plus the whole depersonalization with this face covering. You can't tell anymore if anyone's listening to you or even interfacing with you. It's really creepy and brain scrambling. But anyway, let's see what she has to say.
First up, we have Patricia Bellamy.
Thank you. Patricia Bellamy. I'm here to discuss CRT and math. Segregation ended in schools in 1954. Here we are in 2021, recreating it on many different fronts. Martin Luther King himself stated that segregation is the adultery of an illicit intercourse between injustice and immorality, and I wholeheartedly agree. Our children are innocent and our most vulnerable population.
If you had to guess the racial demographics of the neighborhood that she chooses to raise her kids in, what do you think that would look like? And she's framing the CRT thing as it's pissing off MLK because it's segregation. It's racial segregation. I think this is the whole really cringy boomer meme that came out, oh, the mask mandates are actually segregating black people. Oh yeah, because black people are statistically less likely to get the COVID vaccine. So, checkmate libtards, you're the real KKK. Oh, checkmate libtards. The real demon-crats. Demon KK-crats. Right? But no, CRT is, again, I've said this on the channel numerous times, CRT is just the notion that whites are evil and toxic and need to be removed, right? And the resources need to be given to Blakes. And their response is, oh, MLK wouldn't like this because it's segregating the Blakes. It's just who cares what this dude would think? He's dead, right? Why would, Why do they keep invoking this dude? I don't know.
They do not see color nor define people by such.
Oh,
Your
what?
policy. They do not see color nor define people by illicit intercourse between injustice and immorality, and I wholeheartedly agree. Our children are innocent and our most vulnerable population. They do not see color nor define people by such. Your
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Racial in-group preference or in-group preference is a thing, okay? It's observable in nature, all right? People go through indoctrination centers known as public schools to, quote, unlearn that, and particularly the white students. It's what the CRT thing is all about. So when people like this insist that, oh, well, nobody sees race, especially kids don't see race, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. For you to claim that they don't is you dumbing down kids and treating them like they're dumbasses and they don't see anything. We need to stop doing stuff like that.
Policy is immoral and unjust to prey upon the innocence of our children, to indoctrinate them that they are either the oppressed or the oppressor, to classify them by their race, by their character, to institutionalize them with your Marxist, socialist, racist movement is absolutely despicable.
Dude, okay. There's nothing wrong with seeing race. What is wrong with seeing race, exactly? Because she knows that there's something wrong with a white person seeing race. So she's playing to that angle. She's, like we see all the time, she's a vaguely conservative or conservative person who's using leftist ideology to attack the left from the right, which is so asinine and convoluted and just such a bad strategy. And I'm not it may sound like being brutal toward this person in particular. I'm trying not to be. It's just this is a trend we see. And she's wearing the mask too. I mean, I guess she has to in order to address these momos. But do you think she took the Fauci ouchie as well, or all three of them voluntarily? this is so brain screaming.
Our teachers are here to teach on the matters of reading, writing, math, science, history. You get my point. They're not here to teach our children about racism, equality, equity, Marxism, socialism, as redefined by your policy. I know you have full legal control of school policy approval and policy resolutions. Your policy is bestowing evil and hatred onto our children,
True.
and your tyrannical ruling days are numbered.
Okay.
You wage war against our children, our future, and our freedom. I am here, and I'm going to fight for them. As for the mask, COVID-19 is a virus. Go look at the particulate size of a virus. Then go look up what size particulate levels travel through cloth masks or even surgical masks. There are 47 medical studies stating that masks do not work, even from the NIH itself. Unmask our children. You are implanting fear onto our children, and they are not responsible for your fears. What are you doing? I will leave you with this. The only real prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear. Stop this senseless use of fear tactics for conformity on our children. I am a United States Navy retired veteran. I know all about conformity, and this is not it. This is about control. I took an oath to protect the...
Women in the military is cringe. Conservative, like women conservative activists is also cringe. I mean, conservatives are cringe. I know, like all around conservatives are just cringe. They just never entirely get the point. Like I'll give her credit. She's like halfway there, right? She acknowledges that the CRT is evil, right? Good, great. I'm glad you're on board. Do you care to like defend the white students ever? Why do you have to bring up MLK and the civil rights movement? Why do you have to imply that this is segregation of black people? Why are you trying to win over liberals? I thought this was laughing, Well, by the way, yeah, sub to laughing at liberals if you can. But I thought this was laughing at liberals. I thought this was like, let's reject liberals. Let's get rid of liberalism, or like let's get liberals out of positions of power. Let's get their influence out of the culture. I don't think we do that by using their moral systems of anti-racism, anti-whiteism, anti-Americanism. What would MLK have to say? Have you noticed that almost every single moral question in this country comes down to two historical figures, Martin Luther King Jr. and Adolf Hitler? Like, those two historical figures seem to be just the main idea of the country. Like, okay, well, what would either of those characters in history have said or done? Or what did either of those characters in history say or do? And that's how we will move forward as a country. It always comes down to MLK or Adolf. I don't understand why those two characters in particular all the time. Low-key, I do understand. This is more of a rhetorical question.
Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you now have become my domestic enemy.
Yeah, I mean, women in the military and conservative activism in the workplace, in politics, all of that is cringe. These women should be at home with the kids. Like, all of it, they should just be all men. There's like 2-3 guys here. Why? Why are there women doing this? Why aren't men getting up there and being like, listen, you son of a bitch, you're not going to suffocate my kid with your disgusting, snotty face kippa anymore. Like, we're not doing this. Where are the just like... Is it just decades of like soy and plastic particles in our food? Like, is that why we as men are so docile and just so willing to let this crap come to the fore? I'm struggling with this, understanding like just how did we let it get this fucking bad? How are there just grown men sitting in here doing this? Like, this should be a room full of dudes mostly, not masked, like chanting and shouting these people down. They should look at what BLM and Antifa does. They should go, look at how effective that is. And they should use like street smart activist tactics. But they don't. They just use it. For the past 40 years, they've been doing this MLK bigotry of low expectations routine. And it hasn't done anything positive at all. You'd think that they'd put two and two together, but math is racist. So anyway, subscribe, donate, upvote, share.